Johnny Gillespie from Empowered Yoga is here to tell us about his new men's exercise program. Johnny, I understand that Empowered Yoga actually is the sister company and the baby from Plexus, a company you started in 1999. How did you come up with such an innovative idea as Empowered Yoga?
Well, I was Western trained and went to school and studied exercise science and went to West Virginia University and was pretty much so just trained to make the human body bigger, faster, and stronger. My background is I'm a strength coach and I'm a personal trainer through the National Strength and Conditioning Association. And throughout the first 5 years of my career, I always felt like there was something missing. And within that feeling that there was something missing, my body was also beginning to fall apart.
Right. Well, I think that men actually need alternatives. They need options as far as an exercise program. That's when I heard about your program. I said, oh, this is fantastic. And the audience, the guys out there, they really, really have to listen to this. Tell us about some of the principles behind Empowered Yoga.
Well, the major principles from a physical perspective is that, as the human body ages, it gets tighter. It gets weaker as well. And by going to the gym and just doing traditional movements, which are good, but those traditional movements in many ways can just make you tighter as you continue to age. And so there's a missing element to those traditional exercises that one would do in the gym that we incorporate in our Plexus Fitness programming that is very based kind of yoga movements, but at the same time it brings the wisdom that we know from Western science as far as, just how muscles work and how they work together, not as much in just a single action. That you would do in an empowered yoga class are really based in practicality. We're not focused on trying to get a man or a woman to necessarily learn to stand on their head. What we're focused more on is creating a balance of strength and flexibility within the body, and then there's the mental component, which is equally as important, if not more important, which is learning how to calm down and to de-stress through mindfulness. Men need to learn how to practice yoga because it does create greater flexibility and balance, which can tend to plague men more than women.
Describe some of the exercise techniques in Empowered Yoga and the benefits of each one of them.
Well, again, I think it's really important that all men out there and women, hear this, that yoga is not stretching. What it is it's as you begin to kind of dive deeper into it from a very practical and Western kind of scientific standpoint, is it's placing the body in positions that are really just testing how functional the body is and whether the body is balanced in the left sides and whether it's working together. And what I mean by that is as the body ages, it tends to disconnect. The foot, doesn't work as well with the shin, and then somebody starts to develop knee problems, and they think it's the knee is the problem, and the knee's not the problem. The problem is that their foot not working with their shin, and the knee is the culprit. So all of the exercises, or what they're called in yoga asanas, that we teach at Empowered Yoga are based on creating strength from your toes all the way to your head. And we don't really leave any muscles out. We work them all. And we're working on creating balance, a balance of strength and flexibility.
Now, isn't this sort of like a mirror of Hatha Yoga? I took a class one time in Hatha Yoga, and it actually done wonders for me. I was having some health problems at the time, but I do know I healed very, very fast. And when I went back to the doctor, he said, he could not believe. He just he couldn't believe that the illnesses that I had actually went away.
Yeah, I mean, it's important again to know that Hatha Yoga, Hatha, is the physical system of yoga. So anything that involves stretching and strengthening and breathing is Hatha Yoga. Now, there's lots of different schools of Hatha Yoga, or it's pronounced Hatha Yoga, throughout the world that incorporate the yoga postures, the breathing technique, and the mindfulness principles. And in India, Hatha Yoga is really used as medicine. So it doesn't surprise me in the least bit that, that you had some medical conditions, you went and started to practice yoga, and the medical conditions were evaporated because it's been used for centuries for medical conditions.
Wow. I need to get back into my Hatha yoga class. I didn't know that.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Well, you have extensive training in this thing as far as conditioning and strengthening of the body. You found Empowered Yoga in 2002, which came after Plexus, and you also are the presenter for the National Strength and Conditioning Association. How did this help you develop the program?
Well, I think what happens is because yoga has skyrocketed in popularity, there's a lot of people out there that, like yourself, that have felt the benefits, they've felt the healing, and then they go out and, within a weekend course, you can become a yoga teacher.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, and that can present a bit of a problem. So, my background is more versed in understanding exercise science from a very Western standpoint. And then 10 years ago, I started to study yoga and the Eastern perspective. And really what was born from that experience and from that work is Empowered Yoga, which is really what we've done is just kind of taken the best of the different styles of yoga, and we've combined it with the most recent understandings of exercise science dealing with the body and the mind. And I believe we've created a hybrid style of yoga that is really 21st century, and that's the kind of latest and greatest, and that can help not only men, but it can help women. And we have at our Empowered Yoga locations, we have lots of men and women, and we have people of all ages, as young as 12 and as old as 70, and people in their 70s that are practicing Empowered Yoga and feeling the benefits of this kind of new hybrid style of yoga. When I first started to practice yoga, I started to notice that there wasn't as many men in the room, and I think statistically it's about 3/4 of the people that are practicing yoga are female, but that statistic growing. More and more men are coming to yoga, and the more teachers out there that are able to explain what yoga is in a practical manner and kind of, leave the metaphysical part out of it and just let men come to it and let them understand that, hey, this is going to help you with your lower back pain. Hey, this is going to help you with your knees, and it might get you back out running again. Because, a lot of people, men and women alike, are just, as they're getting older, their body is just not working as well. And what yoga does, particularly, the Empowered Yoga approach, is it focuses on healing the body, on strengthening the body, and creating balance from your feet all the way to your head.
Tell us where you can find Plexus and your Empowered Yoga.
We have a couple of Plexus gyms in Wilmington, in the city of Wilmington, and in North Wilmington. And then we have our Empowered Yoga locations, which are in Wilmington, in Newark, and in Hocassin. And in Hocassin, we're in the Hocassin Athletic Club. So we've got 3 locations in Wilmington, which is just right over the bridge from Jersey. And we're working on getting some classes and some learning programs online so people all over the country and all over the world, anybody that can access us on the web, are able to kind of learn yoga from a very practical standpoint and how it can help you out. And we do our best to leave out the kind of religiosity that can sometimes bring a person or prevent them from further understanding just the practical benefits that they can gain from yoga.
Yeah, because I think when people hear the word yoga, they automatically think of meditation.
Yeah.
And they think about a lot of different spiritual aspects of yoga, which is fine and very beneficial, but you're saying that your program basically concentrates on the strengthening and the conditioning of the body, which is great.
Which is really interesting because you just said a word, concentrate. And the word meditation, it scares a lot of people. And really, that's all meditation is concentration. Most people meditate all the time. They just don't realize it.
Right.
So are we meditating when we do yoga? Of course we are, because we're asking people to focus their attention.
Right.
And I always make light of it with people and just say, hey, you meditated on your way when you were driving here, and if you didn't, you would have gotten in a car accident.
Right, so it's all according to what your perception is of meditation or concentration.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
Johnny, do you have a website or phone number that you would like to share with the audience?
Yes, our website is www.empoweredyoga.com, and our phone number is 302-654-YOGA.
Thank you very much, Johnny. Very, very enlightening. Fantastic program. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.